In many ways, dating in the Philippines is the same as dating anywhere else in the world. Although, in various countries, there are many cultural differences. And knowing what these differences are and accepting them can keep you out of a world of problems and heartache. I'll cover some important ones here in this video, some of which are common sense and some are things you may not consider. If you're new to our community, then I offer a warm welcome. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I trust you'll enjoy our extensive video library where we have over 600 videos to choose from in our various playlists. On this channel, I talk everything about Filipina relationships from a foreign man's perspective who has dated and married a Filipina over the past 7 years. I also draw on my own experiences and what I've learnt from my own research and from talking to other Filipinos over the past several years. We all have different experiences and views, and I encourage people to share these in a respectful way as we can all learn from one another. So feel free to subscribe and press the bell icon to get our future videos on a daily basis. Unlike many countries, the family is first concern in the Philippines. Understand, if you date a Filipina, you'll essentially be dating her family. But no, one doesn't have to look at that as a negative. Many Filipino families can enrich your life, but no, it may be far different to what you have been used to. A large amount of things that are done in the Philippines are done for the family. This includes things like sending nephews and nieces to school, sending money to a cousin in the province to help buy a house, or 100 other different things. So when you're dating a Filipina, realise that you will be spending money on the family. One of the best things to learn in the beginning of the relationship, especially if you get married, is setting a hard budget for how much money you can give the family. You and your Filipina need to be on the same page here, or it will cause problems and resentment later on, not to mention becoming financially broke. Meeting a Filipina's family early on does not mean that you're going to get married, but they do want to see you to know that you are a good guy. Be a gentleman. This is really common sense advice and works anywhere in the world where you date somebody. Simply, being a gentleman means you're always respectful and polite. And you do not take advantage or pressure anyone into doing something they do not wish to do. If you're dating for a future relationship, such as marriage, then being a gentleman is very important. Sometimes it's a little hard to tell the difference between a good and bad Filipina, but after you've talked to a few, you'll get the hang of it fairly quickly. But know that there are many scammers in the Philippines. You can usually find them out very fast, within the first few minutes or days that you're talking to them. They'll ask you for money. Or it might be a wonderful story about how their grandmother needs it for some life-saving operation, but it's probably not true. If you really want to make sure, you can always do your due diligence and have the story checked out. And if they try and make you feel guilty for asking, then they're definitely a scammer, so move on. Rest assured, there are many beautiful and wonderful girls in the Philippines that would love to be the one in your life. So be sure to take plenty of time and effort to find a good one. Good Filipinas are very conservative, and depending on the family, they might even request a chaperone for the first date. Though, as the Philippines becomes more westernized, it is changing somewhat. But no, the Philippines culture is very different from Western culture. Some things may not seem to make any sense at all, but regardless if they make sense or not, you must respect them. Know that Filipinos are very proud of their culture. So don't make fun of it and respect it, and you can be sure it will take you a very long way. You must know, religion to many Filipinas is very important. Many of the girls that you will date will be very religious and go to church every week. So be respectful of this, and it will keep you in good standing with the Filipina and her family. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you also need to be religious, as long as you respect her right to do so. If you're looking for a conservative Filipina, then no, by nature, they are rather hard to get. You'll need to take a lot more time and effort than you normally would. It may take you a lot longer to gain her trust and her love, but when she gives it to you, she will give it unreserved. And of course, once you have a Filipina, you must always keep wooing her. As long as she knows that you love and care for her, it will stop her from looking around, and you'll be her one and only. Know that in the Philippines there is a difference between scammers asking for money and you being generous. If you take your girlfriend out to eat and the family comes along, there'll be no fighting for the bill. Simply, you'll be expected to pay it. And likewise, if you travel and come back to the Philippines, you'll be expected to bring some gifts. These things are assumed. And you must understand the Philippines has very low cost of living, so even being a little generous will go a long way. A rookie error is never assume that Philippines women are the same as women back where you come from. You're now learning a completely new set of rules. So start researching and learning even before you start dating a Filipina is my best advice. Know that in the Philippines, the rules from home do not apply. When dating a Filipina, you'll certainly need to be more observant than you would back home as to what is happening. And be very sure, if you take advantage of a conservative Filipina, you might have a large group of brothers and male cousins to contend with. So I give you fair warning here. Really, it all just boils down to a simple set of rules. Do be a gentleman and don't assume. Remember that family is priority, and watch out for scammers asking you for money. Sorting out the genuine from the non-genuine is really rather easy. As it is anywhere in the world, if it's too good to be true, then it's probably not true. But rest assured, Filipinos are very loyal, loving, and family orientated. So if you find a good one, what more can you ask for? And I can tell you, you'll certainly be in a relationship like never before. For more information and tips around dating a Filipina, be sure to click the playlist on screen now. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.